Philadelphia. Let me first deal with the question on the euro, and then with your excellent question. The problem, of course, of going back, if you like, to the lira, I'm old enough to remember the lira, is that would induce a very separate currencies across Europe would probably cause more harm than good at this stage. And secondly, we really don't know what it would be. I mean, it is true that a common currency was the way it was designed, we know in retrospect, had some major flaws. When you have separate currencies, there are methods of adjusting to the crisis that we're experiencing right now in ways which the public seems to find more acceptable, although maybe it's not. If you went back to the lira now, you would immediately see a devaluation of the lira relative to the rest of Europe. And of course, if the euro system were destroyed, a major devaluation relative to the new Deutsche Mark. All right. This would have some positive effects because it would, of course, change the balance of trade between the two countries in a way that would improve employment here. But it would also have some major wealth effects on those who were holding debt in lira, which is always the problem. All right, so it does. It's not an. I mean, there are some positives and there are negatives of moving in that direction. It's very hard to see how the positives could outweigh the negatives at this particular point in time. What Europe has to understand is something that the U.S. learned over a long period of time in the 19th century, that a common currency means you've got a common fiscal policy. You can't have both sovereignty on fiscal policy and a common currency. It took a while for the U.S. to learn that fact. It started with the crisis after the Revolutionary War, which again Mr. Soros talked about yesterday, that led to a new constitution in 1889, and a major part of that agreement for that constitution was for the federal government to take over the debt of the states that they had run up as a consequence of the Revolutionary War. Now, it was easier under those circumstances to create an American bond, right, simply because the argument was that, after all, this debt had been accumulated in a common American effort to become an independent country. In Europe, that is the sort of justification for a euro. That kind of justification for a eurobond is not there. So in the short term, probably the eurobond is not a feasible option, but it's definitely the goal that one should pursue, so long as the euro community sticks together. What did Soros talk about yesterday? His phrase, I've forgotten it now. A fantastic. I forgot it. Yeah, right. Okay.